When we walk into a room of blue and gray suits across the table, many times they don't invest, not because they are overtly biased against us, but because they don't relate. So the burden on us is to ask for people who relate in that room. Hi, I'm Cindy Eckert. I'm the founder and CEO of The Pink Ceiling, and I disrupted women's health, and now I'm gonna disrupt just how many women get to the $1 billion club. I think the characteristics of a disruptor are they are insatiably curious, they are obsessive, and then in the end, and this is the most important, they are relentless in seeing it through. So the Pink Ceiling is me investing my own money, my proceeds of selling these businesses and putting it into other disruptive firsts by women. And what I love about that is not only are we solving for women's lack of access to capital, but I think we're also changing everyone's mind about who has the next $1 billion idea.
You discovered something about the biology of 10% of women that's impeding their sexual experiences.
10% of women are affected by a condition called hypoactive sexual desire disorder. That's a big medical word for basically lack of interest in sex that's bothering them. And so I did something ever so simple. I listened to women. I just started talking to women who were dealing with this condition. And therefore, if something is going wrong, you can find a way to treat it. And that's what Addyi was all about, was the first ever medication to address this all too common condition affecting women.
Getting this approved by the FDA was a Herculean task. How difficult was it?
Oh my gosh, Katie, I don't know where to begin and how difficult it is. I call it, it was a tale of two sexes to go through the FDA to get the first ever drug approved for women versus the first drug for men. When Viagra came to market, it was literally fast-tracked for approval. The FDA deemed that it met such an important unmet medical need, they rushed it through approval in 6 months. By comparison, my drug affected the same number of women, right, as men had with Viagra. It took 6 years in the regulatory queue. There were absolutely moments when I thought, I can't do this. I've lost. I particularly thought that when the FDA said no, and I actually had a government decision that was no, and I was gonna wake up and say, but I'm gonna challenge the government. But you know what, by Monday, I showed up and said to all of my company, we're gonna dispute the FDA. I laughed because my IT guy raised his hand and he said, can you do that? And I said, we're about to find out. And he actually got a pair of pink boxing gloves and put them on my desk, and they're still there today. When we broke through in 2015, there was no such term as femtech. In 2016, the term femtech was coined. It is projected to be a $50 billion category by 2025. We blew the doors off. The Pink Ceiling for me was about paying it forward. It was about reaching my hand back and getting other women to outcomes like mine faster than I got there myself. So it's a big piece of what I do at the Pink Ceiling is give my time, not just my money, but my time to be able to explain, I faced that challenge, here's how I managed it. You know, go this way, I went that way. That's really a lot of joy for me in getting that opportunity to mentor other women.
How do you get other women to do that as well? Because you're just one person.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the ways that I'm trying to create the multiplier effect is for everyone that I invest in the Pink Ceiling, they make a commitment to me that they will mentor someone else. So I'm trying to build that army, that pink army, if you will. It's so rewarding to help someone else get to that position.
That's part of the deal. We'll give you money, you have to pledge to be a mentor.
And that's such an important piece, I think, of our obligation, again, to pay it forward. One at a time still really adds up. What I mean by empathy being the DNA of a rule breaker is that it's really that spark that forces you to challenge the status quo, really feeling it, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And I think if I look at all the female founders I invest in, that is their unique characteristic. Oh, my next disruption is coming through the Pink Ceiling when I create an army of women who get to $1 billion outcomes and ultimately create $1 billion worth of wealth for other women.